Hi everyone. In this video segment, I want to cover the speech critique assignments. Hopefully everyone in their packet has had a chance to look at this document that goes over the speech critiques, what you can talk on, view, and the questions I want you to answer after reviewing each one of the critiques. Each of these have, you'll see the dates. For the first one is due on April 1st, followed by April 8th, April 15th, and then April 22nd. The first three actually have you either, you get to choose one on the paper, like Dan Gilbert's Why Are We Happy, Why Are We Not, Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, or I'll give you the option to view other talks or presentations or speeches under TED Talks, which is www.ted.com/talks. And there's over about 3,400 speeches there. Now, within each of these, I ask that you review the speech, and then I want you to answer all these questions. So, for example, under the introduction, you're to tell me if the speech had an attention getter. Did the speech have a preview statement? If it doesn't, I need you to state that the speech did not have an attention getter. It did not have a preview statement. Under the body, you tell me if it's organized, and then let me know that. The very last one is the rule of three. That is one of your readings. So you're going to need to read that handout, that post under contents on momentum, and so you'll understand what I'm looking for there. But I want you, another question is, did he or she use the emotional appeals? I need you to ask this question. What I'm going to do is, when I'm reviewing these, I'm going to read your submissions. I'm going to check off if you answer the questions or not. So if you don't, that will take points off. Each of these are 25 points. I don't consider it really being hard to get all 25. Basically, I just want you to answer the questions and summarize and answer the questions. Now, however, I want at minimum at least 2 full pages. Now, how I do that is I want, for example, on the first page, I want you to put your name in the far right-hand corner, and then I want you to start writing. Now, I want this to be 12 font, double-spaced, in 2 full pages. What I'd recommend is probably go over to 3. Honestly, I feel like this is easily a 3-page assignment when you go over and you're reviewing what the speech is and answer all these questions. I've seen a lot of students do 3 to 4 pages. If you give me under 2, that will affect your points. If you give me half a page, if you give me 1 page, then you're looking probably getting 10 points if you're lucky. So definitely, make sure you do 2 full pages. I need it to be double spaced. I've had some people try to do triple space between the paragraphs to stretch it out. So I will convert it to a Microsoft Word if I feel like, something's off. So you definitely need to just make sure this is 2 full pages, 12 font, double spaced. Now, what I want also is, and the first is to tell me who you reviewed and what their presentation was. Now, the fourth assignment for the speech critique is a little different, and that is page 2. And what you're going to do on that one, it is still 2 full pages, but the questions are a little different. I want you to review on YouTube Dolly Parton's commencement speech to the University of Tennessee back on 2009. What I want you to do is summarize her speech, and I also want you to quote Dolly verbatim in at least 2 of your answers. Now, the questions, though, these are a little more, there's less questions. I don't want you to answer the questions on page 1. I only want you to do the questions on page 2. Like, what was the general purpose of her speech? To inform, persuade, entertain, or a combination, and why? What are Dolly's 4 main points of her speech? Give 1 positive observation about her delivery. What do you think the thesis to her speech was? And name something you think the speaker could have improved upon in her content and her delivery. I think Dolly does an excellent speech here. However, as I mentioned when you're giving your presentation, you got to think of your audience. You know, Dolly's an entertainer. She's used to going to award shows and all that. However, this audience is different for Dolly. You know, Dolly didn't go to college, but she's been asked to do a presentation to students that are receiving their bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and PhDs. So, you know, what I do is review this and answer the questions. It's, like I said, she does a great job. Now, what I want you to do, these will all go into the Dropbox. So you need to make sure you submit these by the deadline. I give you a 24-hour grace period if you miss your deadline. However, the maximum points you could receive after I review it is 13 points. So I recommend that you meet your timeline, meet the time limit. Sorry, the deadline. Meet the deadline for these assignments. You should receive a response back verifying that your submission went through. Now, for some reason, if it doesn't, if you want to, as a backup for these, if you want to email it to me, but you have to attempt the Dropbox first. Let's see. And what I'll do, so I'm trying to, basically that's all I have for this segment. If, you know, for all of these videos, if you have questions, email me. And I may have to at some point send out another video to if there's, you know, something's unclear on these. All right, just like I said, if you have any questions, just email me. Thank you very much. Bye.